Donald J. Trump were filed and voted on by members of the U.S. House of Representatives with no formal hearings held, no quantifiable evidence presented, no witnesses sworn to give testimony, and no right to cross-examine the accusers provided. And
whereas Congresswoman Jaime Herrera Beutler did vote in favor of the impeachment of President Donald J. Trump, despite the lack of any formal hearing being held, evidence being presented, witnesses being sworn to testify, or accusers being questioned, and
whereas Congresswoman Jaime Herrera Beutler cast her vote without any quantifiable evidence of high crimes or misdemeanors, and
whereas Congresswoman Jaime Herrera Beutler was elected by a majority of Washington's 3rd Congressional District voters to represent the will, the values, and the stated preferences of the majority of said voters, and
whereas Chief Justice of the United States Supreme Court is obligated by Article 1, Section 3, Clause 6 of the U.S. Constitution to preside over impeachment trials, and Chief Justice John Roberts declined to preside over the impeachment trial in the U.S. Senate, indicating an unwillingness of the Supreme Court to lend legitimacy to this impeachment proceeding. And
whereas Congresswoman Jaime Herrera Beutler has violated the trust of her voters, failed to faithfully represent the majority of the 3rd Congressional District voters, and neglected her duty to represent the Republican Party and the will of the people who elected her to represent them. And Congresswoman Jaime Herrera Beutler's actions have resulted in numerous Republicans in Clark County, the 3rd Congressional District, Washington State, and the United States of America, indicating they will either no longer actively participate in the Republican Party or are stepping down from precinct committee officer positions within the Republican Party, or have canceled their donations to the Republican Party and withdrawn their support, rendering themselves independent voters for as long as Congresswoman Jaime Herrera Beutler holds office.
therefore, be it resolved, the Clark County Republican Central Committee does hereby censure Congresswoman Jaime Herrera Beutler of the 3rd Congressional District of Washington State for her actions on Wednesday, January 13th, 2021, for voting in favor of a process that eliminated investigation and public hearings, provided no evidence to consider, called no witnesses to be sworn, and allowed none of the accusers to be questioned by the accused. And
be it further resolved, the Clark County Republican Central Committee will withhold any future political funding and support of all resources for the Congresswoman Jaime Herrera Beutler unless the Clark County Republican Central Committee finds reason to the contrary, based upon an in-person explanation from Congresswoman Jaime Herrera Beutler. And
be it further resolved, the Clark County Republican Central Committee calls on Congresswoman Jaime Herrera Beutler to appear before this body at its next quarterly business meeting of Tuesday, May 25th, 2021, to explain her actions to this body, the Washington State Republican Party membership, and the entirety of the concerned 3rd Congressional District electorate. And
be it further resolved, the Clark County Republican Central Committee will work together, whole and unified, in conjunction with the other 6 counties in the 3rd Congressional District: Lewis County, Pacific County, Wahkiakum County, Cowlitz County, Skamania County, Clickitat County, and Southern Thurston County, to vet and select a single conservative Republican candidate to run for the 3rd Congressional seat in the 2022 congressional race. That's it.
Yeah.